Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2025 and welcome to another episode of the Sulia podcast. My name is Asamoah Gyan, and on today's episode of the Sulia podcast, we are going to talk about Ghana's own baby jet, the highest top goal scorer for Ghana, ex-Ghana captain Asamoah Gyan. Yesterday, Asamoah Gyan went on an Instagram live, a very emotional Asamoah Gyan, I must add, went on an Instagram live and spoke about a myriad of issues. But for the purpose of this channel, we are going to be addressing the issue on sport he spoke about, which is the penalty miss during the 2010 World Cup. So for those who don't know the story, I mean, you can't be a football fan and don't know the story. But again, like I say, for those who have been living under a rock, what happened is before Morocco became the first African country to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup, Cameroon had been close, Senegal had been close, but arguably none of these African nations had been as close as Ghana did in 2010 when the World Cup was hosted in Africa, South Africa to be precise, where Luis Suarez handball led to a penalty kick for Ghana in like the 120th minute of the game, and step up Asamoah Gyan, he missed the penalty. Ghana will then go on to lose on penalties, which Asamoah Gyan later scored. But then the damage had been had. Africans have not recovered from this. Everyone talks about this story. Asamoah Gyan came under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of bashing for it, which understandably, I think as human, it's something that's going to affect him forever. So he comes out and he talks about this issue. He addresses this issue, but he lambasts his teammates on this issue, calling them cowards for basically not coming out to rebut certain assumptions that Asamoah Gyan was not supposed to take it, and he did take it. So let's listen to him. Let's listen to what Gyan has to say, and then I tell you what my opinion on this whole ruckus is.
They say, I'm not saying, because the pakona are correct. No, no, no. Say penalty never, and so I'll be able to be. Say me, so last time me come boss him. Na Ghana ni mguase. Eh? Say mo bet me abon. So mo so bet me abon. Mo se tire. Because pressure moves slow. Everybody is scared. You scared. You cowards. Now be ko bo magana ko enim na de na say ya. Mun ko fo na ye ka say ye di I go say asumesi we bo e na me ko jita me bo na me boy no. Aden na mu man beka. Say no kwa. You people didn't even come out to come and talk. Say, no, now, me, I'm your first penalty taker. Yeah, Kano, players now move on. I then want to remember out. I'm back, I said, and no. The fans can be the fans. They can do whatever they want to say. But Muna move on, come and defend it. Because you were scared and because they are mentioning my name, because I was all over the place, I was loved by the people, you instigate them to talk bad about me. Really? What I say? Players now, the people around, you know. I don't know how to come no because I didn't really know who you. So don't go behind the scene and thank for say, oh, now you see. Then outsiders, what people think about me, they don't know. You don't say it. How many years? And I assume they say, oh no, never. And I me really? Now you hear me, mum. Me more now. Me ko penalty am I say bien. Ah, then I say. Say me, cause shut up about penalty. I said the fans can be the fans. They have their opinion. They don't understand the things. Sometimes you need to educate them for them to understand that this is what happened. But when malaria now me because you didn't say it. 10% because really? These are patriotic citizens, people who die for their country. So when you don't see, you face calamities, and then you understand. You understand? Because they are happy. Those people are happy. People are bashing me. They are happy. So they don't come and quantify. No, because they know some they are there. So people, say, I feel they so they won't say it. No. Cowards. Let me tell you, they are cowards. Me, I always step up. I always step up. I rise up to the occasion. I always step up.
I mean, so the first question I would want to touch on or answer is people are saying whether he should have done it. Because Asamoah Gyan is really highly respected. He's respected all over the world. He's not just a Ghanaian icon. First time I traveled outside Ghana and people saw me, the first thing, oh, Asamoah Gyan, like you get it. It's bonkers that you travel outside Ghana and his name is all over the place. He did give Africans a very special thing during the World Cup. On the issue about calling his teammate a coward, this is what I think. Firstly, prior to the Uruguay game, Asamoah Gyan had taken a penalty against Serbia. He scored. He had taken another penalty against Australia. He had scored. He was the designated spot kick taker for Ghana. So anyone who, this is addressing people who said he was not supposed to take it, Apia was the one supposed to take it. Anyone who made the assumption, to me, was beer parlor talk. It was one of those stupid conspiracies people just spring up with. That's my opinion, because he was the designated number one penalty spot kick taker. Who else was going to take it in that crucial moment? So that thing, I don't think it barely ever held water. It was one of those ignoramus talks. But then secondly, as to his teammate, I think Gyan is not being fair to see someone like Stephen Appiah, because I've heard on 2 or 3 occasions where Stephen Appiah had debunked these kind of, dispelled these rumors that Gyan was supposed to give it to Appiah and all of those things. Appiah has dispelled those rumors on more than one occasion. The only thing, if Gyan wanted to say that he wanted his teammates to rally behind him and come out in the public and defend him in the public, that is something I think it's a valid feeling for him to feel, because you would understand that in that moment around 2010 was a very difficult moment for Gyan. So, I mean, to nip it in the bud, maybe he expected his teammates to do a lot of interviews and stuff like that. But even if they didn't do it, I mean, it is not everything you come out as a player or anything. But then you understand Gyan by saying that when it comes to the national team, there are people around there, people trying to sabotage him, there are people trying to do this and that, X and Y. I mean, I get the validity in how he felt like people should have surrounded him and people should have come to defend him. But then again, I think these are things, in my opinion, and I may be wrong, you can let me know in the comment section. It is only ignoramuses that would believe in such theories or such conspiracy theories as to whether it was right for him to do the video. He's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. It's his Instagram. It's like I'm saying, it's his Instagram. Even if he wants to do like 50 Instagram stories, he can do it. But again, I don't think this would really affect his philanthropic work or reduce his status or reputation in the eyes of any person. I don't think this does any harm to him. And you see, one thing people don't know, Gyan has always been this kind of figure. From 2008, the kind of back and forth he had with GFA, he and Kwesi Appiah's fallout, a lot of talks, Gyan is lazy. He's never been someone who shied away from not speaking. I heard Miles was saying this is a way he becomes relevant. I get it. I don't think I don't think it's a relevant thing for him. I think there's something happening in his private life. That would arouse this motion, because if you listen to the whole interview, it's not just about it's about elements around GFA, Black Stars, Ghana, which I believe, and I always say, I would always die on this hill, is very valid. There's too much politicking in the Black Stars. But then, yet again, if you speak up whilst you are an active player, the chances of you being able to play is, I mean, the women's football is one example. But then I think someone like Jan, whilst he in his heydays, I think he should have spoken up against things like this, because sometimes you become a figure which cannot be uprooted. I don't think once you are this good, or once in 2012 you are Jan, you speak against elements around the Black Stars, nobody can do you focal, because you are not we can just say no, we are not going to let you play. So I mean, yet again, I mean, Jan also has to take a bit of blame for these kind of things, but then everything he says is relevant. I don't think Ghanaians hate him that much. I mean, if there are trolls who still dwell on these this World Cup thing, I mean, nobody takes them seriously. I mean, everyone would appreciate the role he has for Ghana and the role he has for African football. He's still going to forever be a legend. And then let's just move on to 2025. And I think his punditry, his philanthropic work, everything is going on. He's been blessed. Then I think and for the MPP thing, I didn't want to talk about it, but come on, bro. I mean, a political party calls you and you are telling me you didn't know that was going to happen. Come on, bro. So my name is Asamoah Gyan. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Share, like, and subscribe to the Sulia podcast.